Okay, so I've just had a bunch of prints delivered to me this morning, and I wanted to share them with you. I was, sort of talked into doing this, but a friend of mine had said to me over on a comment on one of my photographs, he said that nothing beats a gelatin print, and I have to say I was sort of, I sided with him. I totally agree with that. But I wanted to compare the sort of modern Giclee images, the ones you can see on the outside, with a more traditional gelatin print, the one in the middle here, and see how they do compare. Because, like I said, I'm born of this world, the sort of traditional printing process, but I don't have a darkroom anymore, and so I'm reliant on the more contemporary process, and I've learned to love it, and I wanted to share with you how and why I've come about that. But let's start with this photograph in the centre here, and let's look at how that was processed, how it was taken. So I took this picture, like 25 years ago, if not slightly longer, kind of in my early, the beginning of my photographic career. So this photograph was taken with there was a stylist and a model that you can see. I'm afraid I've forgotten her name now. And they were both at the London College of Fashion. We took this in King's Cross in London. We went to the back of the station, and you can see the gasometers there. And we took these pictures. I think, funnily enough, this image ended up in Vogue, which was nice. But the real reason I've got it out is if you look closely, you can see. Let's get the focus on this right. You can see that it's a Kodak PXP. It's a type of 120 film I was using. I shot this on my Mamiya RB67 with my 90mm lens. It's a lens I loved. I would have taken the picture, I would have kind of rushed home to my darkroom, and I would have processed the film, made a contact sheet, and then printed out a few of these pictures. I love the whole process. I think the sort of very physical process of bringing the image to life. You can almost see my hands burning in some extra light to bring out that sky. I really enjoyed all of that, and I honestly miss it. But it's great to be able to compare the sort of similar output today. It's not a similar process, but it's actually a similar output. So let's take this picture of Carrie. I took this last week. And this is a picture, and that's the other thing. You can still get the results pretty quickly. So this is a photo I took. Just again, just like this one, it says daylight picture. I'll just make sure you can see it properly. The richness of the blacks is very similar. The sort of sheen. Can you see that? Can you see the sheen on the images? They're both sort of silky picture. This is paper made by Ilford. This is paper made by Canson. It's actually it's a plantain fibre. It's 100% cotton, so it's a very thick, and the actual sort of physical feel of it is very, very similar. And you've got the very similar depth in the blacks. One thing you can see, especially with these two, is there's a sort of tonal difference between them. I think, if memory serves, I probably would have added some toner to add those slight reds in it. But you can do that in Photoshop. You can achieve the same results. Ultimately, the actual quality, the output is very, very similar. And let's take a look at this portrait of Rode. Now, fun thing about working with Joseph, the guy who does all my prints, he sent them over to me from Hungary. I asked for one picture, this particular one. That's the same Canson plantain fibre rag paper, and this is a similar paper. Similar size, same size, obviously, but it's a fine art rag. Now, this is definitely worth comparing, and I didn't ask for this particular picture, but Joseph sent it across to me because he knows what I'm like. If you compare the two, and you look at the detail, the one on the right hand side has the edge. The real reason is the depth of the blacks. It's quite fantastic. The detail in the eyes, the depth of the blacks in the fabric, it really does stand out. I think if I'm honest, if you frame this and you stuck it behind glass, you might not see the difference. But holding the paper, feeling it like this, it really stands out, and it makes you want to kind of go back and print all of these again and see what kind of different results you could get if you did that. Here's another side-by-side example, picture I took of Anna in November last year. I love this image. I wasn't expecting the one on the right hand side. I was expecting this, the same plantain fibre. But this is, I think it's called Etching Edition, this paper. And honestly, it's a lovely, lovely paper. I don't know if you, I'll make sure you can see that on the focus, but the depth in the blacks here on the right hand side really stands out. And I think I'm realizing I have expensive taste, because this is a more expensive paper. But you know, going forward, I think I'd have everything printed on this paper. It's really superb, and you know, it is different. It's not got that sort of gelatin, it's sort of slightly glossy feel, or in this case, silky feel. It's very matte, and honestly, you know, it's the right paper for this image, and that's the important thing. That's why I like working with an artist who's also a printer. Is you get that sort of, you look at an image, you see the texture, and you go, that's the paper it should be printed on. Here's a good example of an image I think would also work quite well on the same etching paper. This is the plantain rag, and this is Elena. I love this image. If you look at the depths of the blacks, depths of the greys, I should say, you can see the wood, you can see the skin. It's another image that, you know, I think if you went back and you printed it on this paper, I'm not sure it'd have the same impact. I think it does work really well on that slightly sort of matte finished paper. Last couple. Well, in fact, there's three here to share. So there's a picture of Marissa taken in New York in October last year. And this is a good example. In fact, these three are good examples. So this is what the camera sees. This is 8x12, so it's a full frame. I've not really cropped anything here. So it's pretty much what you see. I think these are all taken. Well, these two definitely are taken. This is Marissa again, with the 35mm lens, and just to you know, talk about the obvious, really nice blacks, really nice whites, and some good detail in the background. New York, you can see the Empire State Building in the background there. But yeah, these last two, and I think this is a better example of the 8x12 format. I'm kind of elaborating the point, because 8x12, not a very traditional format, but you can get that with a printer where you can pretty much dictate the paper size you want. Works really well with these leading lines images, where the lines really shape the way in which you look at the image, especially this one of Kate. And again, I'm going to bring out the focus. But if you look at this, some fantastic detail. That same slight silkiness to the paper, really good richness in the blacks, it's showing off the silk in the fabric really well. And yeah, I'm in love with the process. I think, you know, there's a case made that you'll never quite beat a gelatin print, but I have to say you're pretty close with this lot. And you know, it really makes a big difference being able to work with a printer who knows your quality, your style, and the kind of image you're trying to achieve when you're printing. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that. Lots of fun, and yeah, well, I hope to bring some more of these when I get some more printed.